we're at the desk again. You know, I had two options when I started shooting this morning. It was either I could paint my nails again and get the engagement bait, or I make a really fire breakfast. I need you guys to comment about how fire this breakfast is so that I get the same amount of engagement as the last video. Similarly to last video, I'm starting it off again with a Steam Deck in the middle of the table, except this is actually gonna stay in the middle of the table. I've got the idea, what if I put every OS on here? Every single one. Here's what I'm thinking, right? The Steam Deck can technically dual boot. If you try hard enough, it can do it. Now, this isn't actually the first time I've tried I put every OS on something. If you're like an OG fan, I'm talking like one of the 100 people total that saw this video 3 years ago, maybe 4 actually, you'd remember Project Pentaboot. That was when I had my HP Omen and I put 5 operating systems on there. I had Windows 10, 11, Chrome OS, some sort of Linux, and then also Mac OS Big Sur. See, but at that point, I was kind of cheating. You know, 2 Windows, that's not fun. And then Mac OS, because it was an AMD laptop, I had to just pull up a KVM in a separate Linux install and it was set to automatically go into the KVM. Now, depending on how this goes, we might have to do that again. Now, considering, look, this is in the document. So here's the OSs we've got. We're gonna put SteamOS 3 on there. We're gonna put Windows 11. We're gonna put Arch Linux. We're gonna put Chrome OS, and we're gonna put Jesus Christ. And we're gonna put Mac OS Big Sur. Now, Mac OS technically is doable on Steam Deck. If you were on the channel when I did that live stream series of trying to make that happen on this Steam Deck, you would know that technically it's possible. If you watch the Metrobyte video where he does it, you would know that technically it's possible. I've never gotten it to work. Today's the day. So I think we're gonna start with SteamOS 3. Now, I do actually have notes on what I need to do for each thing. Fair enough. Now, it does say, while here, create necessary partitions for other OSs. I think the first line of action that I want to take here is just nuking everything that's in SteamOS currently. Now, I don't use this Steam Deck. I've got the, What the just happened? Huh? There we go. That's better, I think. Just ignore that little... There we go. What was I doing? Oh yeah, I was nuking every game on here. Part of me feels like I should just factory reset. Why do I have Steam VR on here? I've got a mouthful of waffle. What I am gonna do, I am just gonna factory reset, like just complete, you know, blah. And then, while that does its thing, I'm gonna pull out the MacBook and we're gonna prepare the flash drive. I'm gonna download all the ISOs. MacBook. I can't take that off because it's all calibrated. Guess I'll screen record. So the drive I've got today is just this one here. It's a little SanDisk doohickey, and it means I don't need a dongle for this computer specifically. The way I'm hoping to get everything on here is using Ventoy. If you don't know what Ventoy is, it's basically like a utility that lets you dump a bunch of ISOs onto a flash drive and then just boot off of those without needing to flash them individually. I just need to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. They only have like a utility for Windows. Oh, they have a utility for Linux. Restart. I actually physically cannot take it off because it is adhesive to the monitor. Anyway. Linux. Can't believe I actually, am getting real use out of this. And it's solely because I can't be bothered to open Windows on my desktop. Oh, I should screen record here too. Downloads, Linux. I think this flash drive was actually formerly a SteamOS 3 recovery image. I wanted to say I just double-click Ventoy GUI. Oh, I'm right. SanDisk 3.2, Ventoy package, install, format, yes. Okay, cool. Ventoyed. Oh. Okay, well that's ready. Now let's have a look at the list. What do we need to download? We need to download Windows 11, fairly easy. ISO download. Select download. ISO. Download no. Archlinux.org. Arch Linux was the next one. I was originally going to do Bazite just to kind of have a Linux distro, but then I realized that Bazite's actually easy. And at first I was thinking, oh, maybe not Arch because we've already got Arch on here with SteamOS. And then I was thinking of other Linux distros that are like hard to install, kind of like Arch's, even though I'm going to use Arch install. The only thing I could think of was Gentoo, and I'm sure as hell not doing that right now. So Arch it is. Oh, my torrent client's on Mac OS. Sorry guys, Australia, that one. Those are going. Arch will probably finish before Windows. Chrome OS. So Chrome OS, we're gonna be using Brunch. As if Googling Brunch is going to... Okay, I can't even show you because it's my current location. I think I'm gonna install Arch Linux and Windows 11 first, solely because those are the two that have like just actual ISOs that don't need me to really mess around with stuff. Chrome OS shouldn't be too much of a hassle, and then Mac OS is... macOS is macOS. Well, there's one done. Okay, and then I just move that onto that drive. So as the timer continues to go up, so now hypothetically, that's all we need to do to get a bootable Arch Linux drive. Meanwhile, in the past, you would have had to, you know, flash the ISO and do all that stuff. But now we just have it on here and we can just run it. Windows is taking its time, probably because it's 5 gigs and not, how big is Arch? 1. While we wait for that, let's set up SteamOS. Now, I'm not gonna be able to log in because my phone's up there that has my authenticator and it's shooting this video. I didn't think about that earlier. Riveting content, I know. Okay, connection done. Yay, your battery is low. Yes, it is plugged in. Don't you worry, Steam. Gaben, I know you're in there. I would never unplug it when it's updating. So now we just wait. I might pull up YouTube again and just see what's up. There's nothing I can like really make fun of here this time, so I'm not gonna keep watching YouTube. Do you think that would get copy striked? I'm sure it probably would. I mean, this got copy striked, so I'm just gonna close that and hope it didn't. You know, it would be a good bit if I like actually licensed a bit of copyrighted music and then I just played it here for no reason in particular. I might do that. Yeah, I'm gonna play a copyrighted song here and I'm gonna stay monetized. It's gonna go crazy. Okay, well, SteamOS is done. Again, I can't log in. Can I just get it to send me a text? I'm not going through that. Can I just go to desktop mode now? Oh, I can. Who needs a Steam account anyway? Oh, and Windows finished downloading. Lovely. Okay, so I've got Windows. I'll drop that onto the flash drive as well. What I was thinking is that while it's in SteamOS, considering that's probably the easiest part, I'm just gonna like, as much of the partitioning as I can sorted while I'm on SteamOS. I'm actually just gonna take that off the table entirely. Same with this plate. Clean while you work, lads. Time to lean, time to clean, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I worked at McDonald's. How could you tell? Where is, oh, there it is. I was gonna say, where is KDE Partition Manager? And it was right there. Not right now, Steam. I don't have trackpad controls. Never mind, yes I do. I swear this thing is listening to me and going against everything I say on purpose, because I was like, oh, I don't have trackpad controls because I'm not logged into Steam, and then it immediately gave them to me. So here's what we've got, and then I've got this big old 468 gig, you know, not in use partition. Why is it locked? But it lets me move it. Okay, never mind, no it doesn't. What I might need to do is boot into a live OS on here. Okay, first things first, I'm getting a mouse and keyboard because, you know, screw that. I'm moused up, type of shit I'm on. So now we're moused and keyboarded up. I kind of want to stand it up a bit too. I might just grab this phone. The phone just fits under the Steam Deck. That is hilarious. I've lost things many times just because they're under my Steam Deck. I'm getting really mad at this thing existing. The screen recording is making this so warm. It's actually hurts to touch. It also didn't record any of it. Oh, yes, it did. G-parted, live CD, G-parted live on USB, download, download will start. Cool, okay, so we have the G-parted ISOs, so I'll just put that onto the flash drive, move here. Shouldn't be too slow because it's only a few hundred megs. Doink. And put that aside for now. I'm actually gonna charge it up because we're gonna need it when we do macOS. And unfortunately, I do need to be in macOS to do macOS. There's all of our OSs. I need to now shut this down and I need to like boot into the boot menu. Now installing third-party OSs on Steam Deck is pretty simple. The only thing I'm considering is I've never installed 5 of them. So I think we hold down minus volume and that should bring up, yeah, there we go. And then EFI USB device. I'm ventoid up. Type of shit I'm on. Well, that's good how that doesn't work. That gives me a lot of hope. Fatal error during GPU initializer. Oh, okay. Perfect. It actually worked. I've tried that before and it just didn't work. My hat's gonna be in the shot because I need to like actually look at the Steam Deck. So what I'm thinking is about 80 gigs to each OS. That should be like a reasonable amount, probably less to Chrome OS actually. Done. No errors. I'm so hyped. Oh, thank God that just worked. And I think we'll start off with Windows, because I feel like that'll be the easiest to just kind of get working. Like Windows, you just click a button and it just works sometimes. It's already been half an hour. I think I'd installed Asahi Linux on the MacBook at this point in the last video. Hey, the Windows boot screen. It's the only time I've ever been excited to see Windows. Oh guys, we get to go vertical again. That's so awesome and sick. Install Windows 11. Why did it say I agree that everything will be deleted? Here we go, select a location. I give it what? Okay, unallocated 60, yeah, there's the 62 gig primary, so I should just be able to click next. And it does it. Yay. Okay, now we wait, I guess. You guys ready for another journey? Wabam! I just want a coffee. Something tells me that I should be watching the install like the entire time, in case it's like, hey, push escape in 3 seconds or the Steam Deck explodes. But I should be fine, I think. I am gonna go check on it actually. Hey guys. It's still working. Hey guys, it's still working. Look, I know I'm not going through with a big ass coffee machine and doing all the beans and but I just kind of want to drink this right now. So I'm not bothering. If I come back in here and this isn't done yet. Oh, wait, is it actually done? I mean, it looks like it's getting there. That's pretty cool. I didn't mean to actually like predict that. Does anyone else, when they're setting up Windows? Oh, f me. OBE/bypass NRO, my goat. This widget has my location just on there. I'm gonna get rid of that. Boom, now I can just show my phone home screen and not need to worry about it. I don't have internet. Nah, no, I don't. No, I don't, Microsoft. Location, no. Find My, no. Diagnostics, required only. I can't say no. No, no, no. Except, Jesus Christ, I hate Windows. Getting things ready for you. This might take a few. I hate how it humanizes Windows. I feel like I've just installed Bill Gates. Oh, almost there. Ah, hooray. Spyware. Part of me doesn't want to connect it to a network. Part of me just wants to move on to Arch Linux right now. I'm just thinking it might, one, not have enough storage to do all the updates. I've only given it 62 gigs. But two, updating it might mess with the partitions. Would I rather update it and mess with the partitions now? I'm just gonna shut it down now. We have Windows. Woo! I get to check that off my list. React, check mark. Ding, ding, ding. Cropped. I desperately need an Android app, please. Next, OS. Now, I won't need a mouse for this, because, you know, Arch Linux. Second camera moment. Okay, so now we do have Windows Boot Manager and SteamOS USB there. So that's good. It didn't nuke SteamOS on accident. Arch Linux install medium, x86 install. Oh, we've got cool text on the screen. That's always fun. And because it's Arch, it's always going to be text on the screen. After connecting to the internet, the installation guide, is Arch install not a thing anymore? It better be. Wait, hang on. Arch install. It hasn't immediately said it does, what? Okay. I think I just need to connect to the internet and then that'll work. Oh, thank God, I thought Arch install was gone. Authenticate to a wireless network, IWCTL. I guess I just type help. Oh, Jesus. Oh, it's like, oh, you can install a GUI for IWD. Yeah, but I don't have a f***ing network connection. Oh, it's just device list, okay. Oh, that's for like the, oh, okay. So I need to like, okay. So then I go station WLAN0. So that's not scanning for network devices, that's scanning for devices, hardware devices, that's scanning for the hardware. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Station WLAN0, get networks. Yay, okay. Device WLAN0 show, no. Station WLAN0, oh, I quit the entire thing. Let's just ping google.com. It worked. I have a network connection. I officially networked on Arch Linux with a command prompt. Let's go. Arch install, enter. Yes! Disk configuration. Partitioning, manual partitioning. It's only found my flash drive. Oh, okay, I just had to press enter and like, no I didn't, what the hell? What I'm gonna do first is make sure that it can actually see my disk. LSBLK, yes. Maybe because it's not mounted. I'm gonna sit down. What do we say to FlexiSpot, everyone? Thank you, FlexiSpot, for the desk. There we go. It sees the disk there, so that's fine. That's not the issue. The issue is that now it doesn't see any of the partitions on it. If the disk you want to boot from already has an EFI system partition, use that instead. Good to know. Very good to know. I probably should have read that before I created that partition, but I didn't like list it as EFI, so it should be fine. Mount the root volume to /mount. Maybe I do just install this manually. Mount /dev/mount. Can't look up block dev, mate. What the fuck? Maybe that disk is just kind of weird. The primary GPT table is corrupt, but the backup appears okay. So I'd probably be fine installing Arch if there weren't going to be 5 other operating systems. That's the main issue. We are so back. I've got this flash drive now. I've put Bazite on there. USB, Bazite, normal. I did put the Steam Deck specific image on here. I'm hoping that doesn't like make it reformat or anything. It shouldn't. I don't have any reason that it would. Hopefully, because it's a deck specific image, it just lets me kind of use it in landscape. That'd be pretty nice. So it looks like Windows XP already, so that's pretty fire. Interesting. Yay, installation destination, here we go. This one. Custom storage config, done. Cannot initialize a disk that has partitions. Okay, quit the... That crashes the whole setup. If you pick a disk that has partitions on it, it just crashes the entire thing. Bazite might be a no-go. I might just do standard Fedora, because that should be more lax in letting me like do that kind of thing. I've instantly lost the flash drive. There it is, it's right there on the desk. So now I've got Fedora, just standard Fedora workstation on here, but what I am thinking of doing first is fixing the partitions that are here. Because at the moment, it's still got everything set up for Arch, which is less storage. It's got some of them already done. Although I think it should be able to do it. Although now I'm thinking Fedora might just have a GUI partition editor. So I might just be able to use that instead of booting back into Gparted, hopefully. Fedora Workstation Live. Oh, this is a live CD anyway. So like worst case, I just do it, you know, not in the setup, but in Fedora. If it boots. I would really like for it to boot. Oh, look at that. I'm not out of the woods yet, because, you know, we haven't booted. Ideally, it actually stays like this. You know, landscape like it should be. Will it? Probably not, but, you know, a man can dream. Oh my god, it does. Okay, let me sort out the partitions first. Now, I am in GNOME, so I should just have Gparted. Oh, it's disks. That's fine, I guess. Why the f is that free space? I'm sorry? Oh, because the partition table's corrupt. Oh, I don't want to deal with this right now. Okay, wait, let me check terminal. Let me see if I can do something there. Okay, everything's still there. I just need to figure out how to fix that GPT table. Okay. I think I fixed it. I fixed it! There's no corrupt partition table. Ah, I'm goated. I'm actually the f***ing goat. Disks. Okay. Aha! I actually can't see them all, like on the one thing. So that's cool, I guess. Let me just see what the installer can do. Installation destination. I might need advanced custom. I'm just gonna do that. Ah, isn't Linux supposed to be good at dual booting? I thought that was like the whole point. Let's just go custom here without the advanced thing. Okay, here we go. I think what I do want to do here is go back into Gparted and fix up the partitions. I think I want to make everything that isn't SteamOS and Windows free space. Because what it is doing here is it's like letting me just pick the partition points, say how much. I really like this way of partitioning the disk actually. Now that I know that this actually works, I'm gonna head into Gparted and fix that, the Arch partitions. Now that's gonna be a pain because the screen's going to be vertical, but you know, we'll figure it out. I'm still debating on whether I count, like, if an OS doesn't boot by the time we're finished, but we've gotten it to boot, like, does that count as having all of them on there? The part of me that wants to finish this video and get it shot wants to say yes, but I feel like it really doesn't count. If all of them can't boot at once, I feel like that doesn't count, but we'll decide based on how tired I am at the end of the video. It really gets me how the command prompt is the right way, and then this just isn't. Oh, and the mouse still doesn't work. That's fun. Now I've got to do this. Flawless. I'm just going to delete all of those. Why is there a Microsoft partition there? I think that's recovery, so I should be fine to just delete it. Nope, MSFT res is reserved, not recovery. That makes sense. That's a critical partition, don't f with it. Lovely. Okay, I'm just gonna move this. Watch that break everything. And now we've just got the full 353 gigs unallocated. Flawless. Let's apply that and let's try and boot Windows and just see what happens. That might have been a terrible idea. Okay, Windows is fine. I mean, realistically, that is a shame, but like, you know, I'm not even gonna mess with the display. I just wanna kind of finish. I don't wanna look at Windows for any longer than I have to. So now, ideally, we can boot into Fedora and have it do all of its partitioning. Because that would make my life about a billion times easier. Don't test this media, Lamel. Oh, dude, I love how long things take. I need to go back to Linux. I'm Linux maxing. Might buy a framework, and then that's like my Linux machine. Okay, this custom done. Yes, 354 gigs of space. So that's everything that's already there, so we don't want to mess with that. Can we just go to here? And just like click new. Oh, click here to create them automatically. Okay. I guess, okay, that made them all. I want to change that to like 40. Then ideally we can have this as like 30. And then that's 70 total. That leaves us with 283 gigs for Mac OS and Chrome OS. So I think we'll be fine there. Begin installation. Okay, now we just wait. I'm gonna watch YouTube Shorts on my phone.
I was considering putting all of this in, but it is quite literally just 5.5 minutes straight of shorts. So I'm not gonna do that to you.
Why does YouTube Shorts have picture-in-picture? Yay! 25 minutes later. Windows, Fedora, there's 2 Fedoras, but I think that should be fine. Also, notice how that didn't need an account or a network connection, Microsoft. We've got Super Tux Cart, and there's Fedora. Now they're both mogging you in terms of ease of setup. Wow, 2 privacy toggles. That's nice. Yay, I did it. Woo, okay. 3 operating systems. I had to change it, but you know what? We've done it. That's the main thing. Done. Chrome OS time. So we're using Brunch for this. Brunch for Chrome OS. I've done this once 4 years ago. I don't remember how, but it says AMD Ryzen is supported. Dedicated GPUs aren't supported, but this has an integrated GPU, so it should be fine. I'm gonna try the simplified install because I don't want to really put much effort into this because I need to save all of the time I can for getting Mac OS working because that's a nightmare. First, identify the cover image. Okay, Gumboz. We have Gumboz. Gumboz. Smiley face. Follow the instructions in the Linux Loops repository readme. Install the Linux distro to your hard drive. It is recommended to use the live disk instead. Okay, we'll just do that. Install the below packages depending on your distribution. Paste. Is that it? That can't be it already. Oh, well, I guess it is. Download the Linux Loops script. Start it in GUI mode. Creating the GUI Python environment. Chrome OS might be one of the easiest ones. However, it is taking a while, so I'm going to open YouTube Shorts again. Which distribution do you want to install? Brunch. Next. Let's go stable. I don't want anything going wrong. I want Gumboz, right? Disk. Okay. Yeah, it's not going to let me dual boot. What I might do is install it to an image. Oh, this partition has 19 gigs available. How much would you like to allocate for Brunch? Okay, idea. What if I make a new partition? Okay, unallocated. Let's go a new 32 gig partition. Let's just name it Brunch and see what happens. Ideally, it'll just let me boot from this disk image. That'd be pretty sick. Okay, so now we have this 30 gig partition. I'm going to mount that. 16. Jesus Christ. Okay, cool. So now I can open up this, create image file, computer, mount, Chrome, save, next. Please just work. Go. Do the thing. Why is there another save? Do that as well, I guess. Okay, sure. And then we'll go with 25 gigs. It's Chrome OS, right? Like that doesn't need much. Okay, it's just working. File? I didn't realize it would be that easy. That'd be pretty sick if I just had to do that and then I didn't need to like create a live USB or anything and it just worked. That'd be really, really sick. Downloading Brunch. Nice. The grub config needed to boot Brunch has been generated in this file. If you have a Linux distro which uses grub as the bootloader, yes. Run the below command and you can restart. Oh, okay. So that just works. Generating config. It didn't find Fedora or Brunch, but I'm assuming that those are just kind of in the config file already. Is Chrome OS that? It surely, okay. Something has to break. I'm gonna go into Fedora and I'm gonna assume that it's gonna, yep, there it is, Brunch. Okay, it's actually just making progress and working. See, I feel like we're not out of the woods yet because we haven't booted. Holy sh**. Welcome to your Chromebook. Yes, that is a Chromebook, sure. Scan the QR code with your Android phone. Oh, I don't even need to. Scan the QR code. Oh, well, yes I do. Set up. It's kind of crazy how that just works. If it does work. Big if. I'm just gonna try and scan the QR code now. I'm just going to type in everything manually. Choose your Chromebook setup. This is just straight, yeah, this is it, thinks it's a Chromebook. Does this work? No shot. Does the touchscreen work? No shot. Hopefully this works. Connecting with your device. Sign in. Yeah. Install apps from, no, don't do, why is this there? Why is it letting me install Stardew Valley? That costs money. I don't own that. Your Chromebook comes with Gemini. Lovely. Next, dark mode. Oh yeah. Okay, and that's just straight Chrome OS. like just working. That's kind of insane how that just runs with no issues. Like full, like that's touch support. I'm gonna try and get the display scaling a bit better. It's like connected to the phone too. Cool, and this is my Chromebook now. Locate on. So essentially at this point in the video, I was hoping to have macOS, either Big Sur or Ventura, installed onto the internal storage of my Steam Deck. Now, I'll spoil it now, I did get that working. It took many hours. The first recording of the video is like a couple hours long to get the other 4 operating systems working, and then macOS on its own is 3 hours. And I didn't even mention the fact just then that 3 hours is just what I decided would be worth recording. There were multiple hours of installations and just waiting that I didn't bother to film it all because nothing was happening. It took more than 3 hours to get this installed, which I guess is expected, but anyway. That, by the way, is 3 hours with a pre-built EFI and with configurations made specifically for the Steam Deck. At this point in the video, I had lost a good chunk of my energy and I was just not up to standard with the rest of this video in terms of my performance on camera. Getting macOS installed here was a chore. That's basically the only way I can put this. I initially started by creating my macOS installer, which on its own took hours just to flash it and download the operating system and get it onto a USB drive that I could boot off of. After I finally got the installer actually downloaded and formatted correctly, I then struggled tremendously to get my EFI booted because the program kept throwing up Python errors that I just don't know how to fix. I ended up getting around that by using my main MacBook here instead of the MacBook Air that had been featured prominently on camera. I then kept getting just completely undecipherable issues that I'd apparently experienced for the first time ever, considering Googling the error logs brought nothing. I eventually went back to the Metrobyte video that made me realize that this was possible again, and he was using Big Sur, not Ventura, which I had started. So I spent another hour or so trying to get Big Sur onto the flash drive, not trying, just waiting for it to happen. And then after finally getting Big Sur booted, it was stuck in Russian. I attempted to fix that using, there is a dedicated spot in the OpenCore guide to, you know, why is my install stuck in Russian? I tried that and then doing that made it not boot. I eventually just used Google Translate to get my way through the macOS installer, and I had to use external storage because the internal storage disk utility just wasn't letting me add another partition because of the amount of partitions that were on the drive already. I got through the Big Sur installer, got to a desktop, and I have that on camera. I got it installed, you know, cue the confetti. However, after then changing my language and region in the operating system from Russian to English, it no longer boots. So that partition on my external hard drive no longer exists. I didn't like how I worded the last part, so I'm gonna do it again. With all of that out of the way, here is the final outcome. I'm gonna let that roll and probably watch Toronto blow their 3-1 lead even further. So look, I know that macOS is currently not booting on here. However, we do have everything else, and we did have macOS booting at some point, so I'm still calling this a win. Let's go through them. This is the proof. Proof is in the pudding, and this is my pudding. First of all, SteamOS. If any of these are broken now, I'm gonna cry, I think. If this SteamOS doesn't work, I have this SteamOS. Good start. Oh, it's updating. Okay, we're good. It's fine. It's fine, calm down. Boom, SteamOS. All right, well, I'm not gonna log in, but you know, there's SteamOS. Shut down. Next on the agenda, Windows 11. Windows. Boom, a little spinny thing. You know that's called a throbber? I haven't properly configured it yet, and I don't know if I ever will, but boom, Windows 11. This thing has never even touched the internet. I can't get to WinVer. You know what, I honestly don't really care. Shut down, Windows, success. Oh, next up on the agenda, Fedora Linux. Fedora. Boom. Fedora Linux with GNOME. Next operating system. You have to go back into Fedora. Brunch it up. Boom. Chrome OS. Oh no. Ah. Uh-oh. Oh no. Guess I'm recovering. Cool. Dang. Chromebook. We Chroming. We got YouTube in this. Thank God that's over. And that's it. We did technically get 5 operating systems running on my Steam Deck. Not this one, but you get the idea. I truly wish macOS went better. I was really rooting for it, but you know what? We did get it running, and that's what counts. If you like this video, make sure to hit that button, and maybe even hit subscribe if you really like this one. You can follow me over on Instagram, Blue Sky, and everything else with the links on screen and in the description below if you want more. And if you want more videos, you can click over here to check out, I don't know. I don't know, I'll pick something. Or you can click over here to check out whatever YouTube thinks you'll like. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Wow, that's a follow-up, isn't it?